Day 2.
Can we take a picture?
Actually, 4 times because I was going to get.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can't eat it. In there.
Four. Thank you. How'd the coaster go? You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes up to about 30. What'd you say? If you wanted to.
Oh, and you're not allowed to get, mad or annoyed at me for photobombing half of your pictures.
Oh, gosh.
All right, is that all of us? Yeah. Fantastic. So, as I said earlier, my name is Leo. I'll be your tour guide for the next hour. So, if throughout this entire tour you have any questions at all, feel free to just raise your hand and ask. With that being said, I'll get a quick raise of hands from you. How many of us have been in a cave before? Fantastic. Not too many of us. How about this cave?
No.
Really? Okay, cool. Me neither. No.
Ay, cómo rico, puta. Marica, me volteé con la gorra y no lo sentí tanto. Hijo de puta. Ay, me quedo escuchado de puma, marica. Gracias por la aclaración. Pero me la bajo escuela de arriba. Necesita.
I know, you can still tell them.
We can have purple in our limestone. The purple is from manganese oxide. Or we have red, such as we see back here, from iron oxide. Does anyone know what else iron oxide is called? I heard somebody say it very quietly.
Rust.
Rust. So we have rust in our cave wall here, pretty similar to the rust in my car. And then, as we follow along the middle of the room, we'll notice there's a giant crack up here filled with a giant amount of red rock. The red rock up in the ceiling there is known as the Mississippian paleokarst. Basically a fancy way to say petrified mud from the Mississippian period. It's 300-million-year-old mud. Questions about that? Alright. And the last discoloration we have in here is not actually natural, but it's from the oils in our skin. It's right back there above the stairs. So if we look in the back of the room, that little black spot above the stairs is from the oils in our skin, where people would go down those stairs, they'd put their hands there. Over time those oils would get trapped in the limestone and permanently discolor any animals. So, we've got a few different reasons animals don't like it in here. Cold-blooded animals don't like it in here because it's too cold for them to survive. Things like bats can't hibernate in here because of that temperature as well. They'd prefer a colder cave around 40 to 50 degrees for hibernation, so you won't find any bats in here during the winter. And during the summer, the passages are too inconvenient to go in and out of for a bat to find it as a good place to stay. So what animals do you think we might have in here?
Rats, mice.
Rats and mice. We have a major lack of food in here, so we don't typically see rats or mice in here either.
Spiders?
Spiders, we have 2 places in the entire cave where we can find spiders. Does anyone have any idea where those 2 places might be?
The entry and the exit.
The entrance and the exit. So, if you're scared of spiders, bad news, you've already walked by spiders. And even worse news, you can't get out of the cave without walking by even more.
My sister would be trapped.
Now, those spiders, why do you think they can only survive by the entrance and exit?
Airflow.
Because it's warmer.
Neither of those is correct.
Food source.
Food source. It's the only places in the cave where enough other animals, bugs and such get in that those spiders can survive. Otherwise they would starve in any other part of the cave. Same reason no other bugs except, well, there's a select few bugs that can survive in here, but we'll talk about those in a few moments. Any other animals you think might be surviving in here? Raccoons. They can't easily get in and out of the cave. We have 7 natural chimneys in our cave. They're about the size of a softball or smaller on the surface.
Snakes.
So it would be very, very difficult for a raccoon to get in here or any other larger mammals. Snakes we don't have in here because it's cold, or they're cold-blooded, and so it's too cold for them. Alright. Who wants to talk about those bugs that we have in here that are not spiders? Alright. We'll start off with springtails. Does anyone know what a springtail is? Anyone?
I've never seen one, but I've heard of them.
What do you think it is?
I'm not sure. Someone just told me the name of it.
So, a springtail is a bug about the size of a grain of salt or a grain of sand. They're very small, and guess what they eat?
Humans.
People! Oh my goodness! No. They feed off of dead or decaying organic matter. So unless that person is dead, they will not feed off of it. What they do instead feed off of here in our cave is algae. Any others? We have one other type of bug. Come on, anyone?
A grasshopper.
Nope.
Centipede?
We actually, okay, fine. I have spotted centipedes in here, so we have a few other types of bugs, but we don't commonly spot centipedes in here.
An ant.
Nope.
Worms?
Ants don't make it 50 feet under the surface.
Flies.
No.
Worms.
Worms? Not quite.
Because it's not mud.
Alright, does anyone know what an isopod is? What is it?
Like a roly poly.
There we go. You don't know what a
Or
much...
shamefully on the beach. It's a nice spot too.
That's true, yes. But primarily what we have are wood lice, which is a really unpleasant name for something as pleasant as a roly-poly. But they are called wood lice if you want to be nice and fancy and technical. And they also feed off of dead or decaying organic matter, which is why, again, we find them here typically where there's algae.
Please do anything. I'm so proud of you.
It's hell. For me.
Oh, I know for you.
You know what's even better about yawning? I'll call people out on my tours for yawning. This room, right here, at one point was thought to be the last room in the cave up until 1920. But in 1920, the passage back here was discovered. Before then, again, people would get in here, they'd have nowhere else to go or back the way they came. After all the time it took to crawl into this room, people would be exhausted. They would take a break in here, and while taking this break, they would have eaten food, they would have drank water, and they would have played games. One of the games they would play was searching for images in the limestone, which is why we call this room here the image room. So, who wants to play this game? Fantastic, you don't have a choice.
You see anything in the lawn?
Somewhere in here there's a pig's nose. Does anyone think they can spot it?
Right there.
Nope. Nope. You guys are awful at this.
Above your head?
It is in the very back corner of the room on the wall back there. Please don't touch the rock.
Oh, I see it.
Very back corner of the room on that wall. You can see like two little holes in the back.
It's, yeah.
Right there.
Now does anyone think they can spot the rabbit that's in here? Anyone?
Like a whole rabbit or a head?
A whole rabbit.
Whole rabbit.
From like the side angle.
Side angle rabbit.
Right up here. You can see its
There it is.
nose,
Yeah.
ear, back,
I see it.
chest, foot. Can anyone see the other rabbit in here?
I can't see a single rabbit.
It's right here.
Head. I just pointed out that rabbit. Where's the
There's
other
the
one?
head. There's the body.
Right above it. Right here, you can see its nose, its like mouth goes back this way, its eye, its other eye is sort of back here.
I see it.
And then it's got a little floppy ear that way, a floppy ear that way.
What?
Right up here, you can see another rabbit. You can see its
You
ear,
want to see the rabbit?
its
Look
eye,
around.
its mouth,
Turn around. Right
its
here.
jaw there. And there's one more rabbit in
Right there. See it?
Better be better than that, right?
It's just a rabbit in the rock.
I think all the rabbits in here are absolutely perfect. The other rabbit in here is right over here.
Look, Alan. You can see it's right here's a rabbit too.
This right here is its
The
ear, its
head,
nose,
ears.
its front paw, and then its hand. He looked at the ceiling over here. What do you think he saw about the ceiling? Very flat, very smooth. It also slopes down that way. That was a sign to him that water was flowing here, and Virgil Williams knew if water was flowing here, it had to have been flowing somewhere. This caused him to start digging. He dug for around 2.5 days, and after 2.5 days, he finally broke his way into another room. We have since started digging another passage to the same exact room right here. That is with the intent of trying to get a passage in and out of the next room so two groups don't run into each other, because currently we go into the next room, we loop all the way around it, and then we come back out. The loop takes 15 to 20 minutes, which means if we're on a tighter tour schedule, groups run into each other going through this passage here. So that slows everything down and confuses people, so we're trying to do...
Yeah.
try and get 1 to 2 people per stay. This room right here is the room that Virgil Williams discovered in caving tradition says. A person who discovers a room should get the first chance to name said room. So, when Virgil Williams got in here, he would have looked around this room. He probably wouldn't have been able to see the ceiling in here because all he would have had for light was a candle or lantern. He probably couldn't even see the furthest walls away from him. So when he got into this room, he would not have known very much about it. All he really knew about it was that it was very large. So he very creatively named it the Big Room. The Big Room does live up to fame. It's the largest room at Rushmore Cave. It is also home to one of the densest collections of calcite formations in the Black Hills. So, whether we want to look at the ceiling in here, the floor in here, or the walls in here, we're going to see, no matter where we're looking, a ton of calcite formations. The reason we see all these formations in this room and not in other parts of the cave is because as we're walking further into the cave, we're walking further into the hillside. When it rains, water will land on the hillside and it will flow straight down it. But right now we're underneath a nice flat meadow, meaning that water is able to seep down into the ground. That water will get to the limestone layer. It will absorb calcium carbonate or calcite from the limestone, and when that water comes out the other side, here in our cave, it will deposit excess calcite up on the ceiling, forming stalactites. That water can drip to the floor, forming stalagmites. On a hillside, it creates flowzone like you see right along here, following it up all the way. Keep following it right up here, and then we can see a column, which is what happens when a stalactite and a stalagmite grow very, very slowly into each other. Eventually, that formation will meet in the middle. Now, these formations do take a very long time to grow and form. They only grow about 1/4 of a cubic inch every 100 to 150 years. For this reason, it is illegal to break the formations. Back in the day, it unfortunately was not illegal. People would break them off and keep them as souvenirs. Nowadays, you can be fined thousands and thousands of dollars for breaking them, or even thrown into jail. These formations are also extremely fragile, so even touching them can slow or even stop their growth permanently. So please do not touch the formations, don't break the formations. Be very, very, very careful when you're walking around the formations. Also, because they are still actively growing, just a little safety warning, the water will fall from the ceiling. The water can land on these stairs, making them wet and slippery, and if any of that water lands on you, you'll turn into a stalagmite. Can't believe you don't believe me. Now, just make sure to watch your step, and especially watch your heads once you get up here. I don't want anyone getting hit or hitting their heads on one of the stalactites here. It'll hurt you, it'll hurt the cave. It is a lose-lose problem. So, be prepared.
Bueno, tenía que quedar muy bien, ¿verdad?
How deep are we?
We are currently about 100 to 150 feet underground, probably closer to about 110 or 120. At the top of the stairs here is about 90 feet from the surface. It's also about 25 feet in elevation higher than the gift shop when we first walked in.
How far in from the gift shop are we actually?
Currently we're about 1/4 of the mile, so it's a half-mile cave tour, so we're about as far into the cave as we're going to get.
Okay.
In fact, the only way to go further from here would be climbing over the handrail, going down that hillside over there, back into what we call fairyland.
Why do you call it fairyland?
Because of the formations back there, it's just got a lot of stalactites and stalagmites. They're unbroken because a lot of less people would go back there. So.
you hold it and then we come back and then I pick it from you.
Because they take much better videos on board with it. That's why I'm asking. Tim right here, I'm gonna take a picture. A little bit of a rough stop at the bottom. I'll see you guys soon.
What if mom sits out today?
So, camera on the left and the quick step with it and right. Ready, guys? Here we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, there's a quick stop at the end and a camera on your left, all right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Here we go.